This is Coal Camp Enugu, first city in Enugu and the entire southeastern region of Nigeria. Coal Camp is often referred to as the center of evolution in the entire southeastern region of Nigeria. It was actually developed and built by the colonizers who wanted residential homes for themselves and for the coal miners as a result of its proximity to the coal mines and other economic infrastructures at the time. This neighborhood is well planned and was a very beautiful neighborhood that a lot of young Nigerian and Igbo men dreamed of living here and hoped to raise their family here because of the amenities this neighborhood enjoyed, such as the plannings, the greenery, and also its proximity to the then University of Nigeria Teaching Hospital. Over there is the old site of University of Nigerian Teaching Hospital UNTH before it was moved down to Itukozala in 2007. So these were the perks of this community and neighborhood. However, things has deteriorated ever since then as the Nigerians' interest and economy has moved from coal to oil and other things we hope to come up in the nearest future. Now let's get to know more about Coal Camp, and if you're interested, please keep watching this video. Talking about the cost of living in the modern Coal Camp, cost of living here is relatively low as a result of the kind of buildings you'll find here and the socioeconomic status of the individuals living here. Coal Camp offers mostly what a lot of us know as face me I face you buildings. One room apartment in Coal Camp goes for between 20 to 30,000 naira per annum, whereas if you're looking for a 3-bedroom flat apartment, you would have to have at least 80 to 180,000 naira per annum depending on the building. The more recent buildings cost higher than the ancient buildings. Now talking about cost of feeding is usually not a problem here because of its proximity to Obuetemen Market, Akwata Market, and other smaller markets that are also within the area. So talking about availability of water here, water is somehow scarce. A lot of the residents depend on buying water and filling up their tanks, while the fortunate ones dig wells and draw water from it. Electricity is quite stable here as the area has at least 16-hour power supply daily. Talking about the socioeconomic status of the residents, most of the residents are artisans and businessmen. Most of them work and do their businesses right here in Coal Camp. So during the day, they are either businessmen or artisans trying to fend for themselves, while at night they go back home to rest. But one thing you should know is that Coal Campers are known for their hustling spirit, which never says never, no matter what.
Not today.
90 70 92 yeah 16 92
92. Okay,
thank you.
Now moving away from the cost of living, another interesting part of Coal Camp are the notable landmarks in Coal Camp. Coal Camp, as I said, is the center of evolution in the southeastern Nigeria, which means that it has a lot of notable landmarks to it. And one of the notable landmarks include the oldest Catholic church in Enugu. I'm talking about St. Patrick's Catholic Church. This church was founded in the year 1917. This means that it is well over 100 years. It celebrated 800 years or its centenary celebration in the year 2017, according to this man. Whereas the old building we are looking at was erected in the year 1926, and this church, the presence of this church and its age has also influenced the denomination of most residents of Coal Camp, or Coal Campers as they refer to themselves, and each street has something called Block Rosary Center. This is where young Catholic children go to pray every evening by 6 p.m. Now, another infrastructure here is this Oluwakadima Vocational Industrial Center. This was erected for Coal Campers and other non-residents of Coal Camp, where young boys and girls can come and learn skills in welding and metal works. And I spoke with one of the engineers who let us deep into what this place is all about.
I want a welding department, I want an automobile department, I want an electrical department, I want a mechanical department, that is Ebane main machines. So Ebana all akadi chiche.
The trainees also undergo entrance exam for them to be admitted into this institution, and at the end of their training they are also offered certificates to show that they've been trained in the appropriate skills. Another interesting place here is a place they call Ugueron or Obed Camp. A resident of Cole Camp who has been very useful to this store shed more light on this place.
So, well, Nazume back at Obed Camp, Ugueron as well. So, here you can avoid Ugueron and Obed Camp and also Bonka Kwabona Ebang during olden days, Ebang can only Kugasi cools. Then nde biakwara biachakwalo that time ndocha biachakwalo olden days ndocha mbichakwa na the coal mande nke na arucha mana coal corporation mande nke arucha mana railway banka ha ncha niile bicha n'ugwu Alfred ugwu Obed ahụ. Even most of them kwa bichakwalo there bụchakwa ndị apụtachakwalo those time wetachakwalo ụlọ n'ime camp bụchakwa ndị biakwa biricha n'ime camp. So, Obed Camp mainly all
Still on the religious landmarks, Cole Camp also has the second most oldest church in Enugu. I am talking about St. Peter's Anglican Church. This church was built after St. Patrick and has also influenced the denomination of Cole Campers. Cole Camp, a lot of people are mostly either Catholics or Anglicans. So driving through Cole Camp, one would assume that Cole Camp serves only as a commercial hub for automobile spare parts sales and repairs. However, there is more to this neighborhood that are interesting, and I'll get to all of that. But before that, let us start with the automobile part. Cole Camp was notable for having specialized car engineers. That is because foreign automobile companies came down here to scout engineers who were trained abroad to work on their specific brand of cars. Companies such as BMW, Mercedes, Peugeot, Volvo did that, and you still see a lot of these signages if you drive through Cole Camp. However, most engineers right now, I'm talking about the mechanics, some of them still specialize, while a lot of people are what we call the general mechanics. And apart from repairs of cars and auto spare parts, they also deal on tires and any kind of spare parts you can think of. Camp or Cole Camp is your destination for everything car related. But apart from the automobile sales and repairs, there are other artisans in Cole Camp who specialize in other handiwork such as welding and metal works to make ends meet for them. Now, the next cultural aspect of Cole Camp that is interesting is their football culture. Anyone who grew up in Enugu and Cole Camp will know that Cole Camp is quite notable for football. This football field, known as Aniocha Football Field, has produced a lot of notable football players including JJ Okocha, Peter and John Otaka, and many more aspiring footballers. So when you come here on a Saturday in different ceremonious events, this field is usually packed to the brim with a lot of young and aspiring footballers who are hoping that they get scouted to play in major leagues or for major clubs including Rangers of Enugu or even international clubs. So now, moving away from football, another thing Cole Camp is known for is their Ogene and masquerade culture. Cole Camp is known for its formidable Ogene and masquerade team, and I was opportune to meet with the leaders of these Ogene and masquerade teams, and they had something to share with us.
2000 Ogene Umamalobo Cole Camp for my place ever come home, and then na lo all so you again, and then I be when na dress and I camp Ogene omo aka ga agbologe as Ogene Cole Camp jeje here akale I want to governors, want to commissioners, want to ministers. So I want to make want to footballers. Ndi madu kali wende. Keben gave video when Dr. Chris Ngige on Cole Camp. Akale in fact, akage nyela akale. Ya ni di kali umwa ndi ma mwesira kolo, mande ma babo, mwesiri ana lokale. Manolo Adelo, Mandina retire, engineers, footballers, musicians like I want to Kuegu. I am a sponsor. Man, I want to room we and get buy. So you need the Nakabu head I help. I will achieve for Yaj Makia when we have as a mother. I will call them none. We are going to take one crate.
Captain memo from origin now. What the cap of the one senior masculine cap when I'm CCYA. But that is why before olden days, Hanaza Ajebwedi, Mechezie, Kewa, after this, there was a CCY, and that masquerade down. Can go no the more Jikogodi camp on by Yabasaro more and on a equal campus, Aka, by only Heme or only your man, anything or bona. If you call them, they will come. Mekwalege Agana and na camp more co-campus. Only way we are not thinking of the mom. I didn't make a mom double or mom cap in your brother. Mamma more of that. I want to camp. Also, go with the masquerade. Only thing in Nayobu, open at the possible. I look at okay, GTBank. No, look at the name. And better meetings in no way you do it on a boy ball. No way you do it a good. Let us fight together. Camera. I feel now. Nka de camp. So nka like ka obi de megene.
Still talking about the communal aspect of core camp, they have a youth organization that has a chairman, and this chairman had pretty interesting things to talk about core camp and core campers.
So with camp, unlike every other place in Enugu, is the community spirit, and we are not intimidated. You can never intimidate a core camper, no matter who you are, no matter what you do, or an enterprising spirit in the camp, and we are proud of it. So Mande camp no US, Mande UK, Mande no Lagos, Mande no every other part. I know that the spirit of camp is still in them, but most of them look forward to being in camp, but that's not enough. And we're a whole lot of young guys in camp. They want to develop their talents and everything. And one thing Ejimalo camp will be able ball. That's why even I feel that I'm not wearing Ocha. Basically, most of the people now ball would have played in this St. Peter's field. So I'm a lot of young guys see the talented in that football thing. I need the support for them. Camp is a bunch of talents. When you turn a camp, they want talent. So when they come, they can start setting up support groups that discover talents and help people. That's basically what camp need. So people in different aspects when they now ball at the modern never now ball now and many other people we know. I'm all John Otaka all camp go to and one young people Otaka camp is a great place to be.
Now let's drive through the streets of core camp so that we get a feel of the daily hustles and bustles of core campers and get to know each street and the story behind each street. You should also note that most of the streets still bear their old colonial names, such as the Tello and Silversmith streets. Ejinti Street is known as the Merriment headquarters in core camp. If you want to drink and party hard, you should get down. This is the street where John and Peter Otaka grew up in. Tello Avenue, this is where you find a lot of Hausa and Yoruba community. Now Abagana Street, this is where Chris Ngige and John Onyanwodo grew up in. Akonyele Street, this is where late Professor Dora Akonyele grew up in. And moving up, you're heading towards Mbanugo, which leads straight down to Abwani Road. As you can see, core camp has really produced a lot of notable Nigerian personalities, ranging from politicians to pharmacists to footballers and a whole lot of people. So if you ever grew up in core camp or once lived here, you should try and do something for your community, just as the leaders of the youth masquerade and Ogene talked about. Try and pick out one or two projects or persons to empower. It will really go a long way to help out this community, and they would really appreciate that very well. And before we go, I want to use this opportunity to thank my impromptu but amazing crew. It was so impromptu that I reached out to these young men and women a couple of hours before recording this, and they left everything they were doing to help me produce this. So I'm starting from the young woman. This is Miss Ebere Okoye. She led us through the entire neighborhood, providing us in with facts and information about Core Camp. And this is Mr. Danny Egbuche. He is the drone pilot for this project. He also rents gears and other filming equipment here in Enugu in case you're in need of one. And that is Mr. Nedu Michael, or Chinedu Michael. He is the guy behind the camera, and most of my vlogs he's usually the one behind the camera if I'm not filming. So please help me appreciate them and reach out to them. They made this possible. I couldn't have done it alone. Now, on behalf of these kids and the entire community of Core Camp, I would love to say thank you for watching this video, and I hope you learned a thing or two from Core Camp community. And I'll see you guys in my next vlog. Have a wonderful time, and remember to subscribe to my channel, like this video, share with your friends and your family, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye. This is Core Camp.